News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us at 10. Residents in Aberdeen had a chance to hear from the men and women vying for their vote in this year's election during a candidate forum. Our Quentin Smith, he was at that forum tonight. He joins us live in the studio with the latest. Quentin.
Yeah, Scott, a big crowd came out for tonight's forum. Candidates who came out took to the podium, laying out their blueprints and trying to convince voters why they're the best candidate on the ballot. Some of the common things candidates spoke on tonight was the need to bring more businesses and jobs to the area, as well as strengthening the school system in Aberdeen. I spoke with one resident who says she came out to the forum to vet the candidates looking to represent her ward. She's been a resident in Aberdeen for 10 years and wants to see someone who will help the city continue to grow.
I do have a younger one that actually is in Aberdeen School District, and I want to see more things for the children. I want to see more activities. I want to see a better environment as a whole for Aberdeen, and I just want to see us grow. It's sad that you have other smaller cities that's around Aberdeen that have this and that, and Aberdeen doesn't have anything.
Now, I do want to point out, none of the sitting members on the Board of Aldermen were in attendance for tonight's forum. Primaries are set for August 7th, and the general election will take place on May 5th. Scott?
All right, Quentin, thanks so much. Well, from the ballot box to the grade book, Alabama voters face a number of important decisions on March 3rd, but one of them could have a major impact on education throughout the state. Voters will have the opportunity to vote yes or no for Amendment 1, a controversial proposal that determines the future of the state school board. Our Cash Matlock spoke with educators in the county. He has more on their reaction.
Vance Herron is the current superintendent for Lamar County, Alabama. He was elected to this position 3 years ago, a process he believes firmly in.
We feel like that the people should have a voice.
On March 3rd, Herron is up for re-election, but there's another matter on the ballot that has his attention. It's called Amendment 1.
They will see where it's renaming the State Board of Education and renaming the Superintendent of Education.
Herron says this wording can be deceiving.
It's allowing the governor to appoint our state board members. The people of not just this county but the state are going to lose their vote.
County board members will still hold elections, but Herron says changing school officials on a state level will have a noticeable effect.
The State Board of Education, state superintendent, pretty much sets standards that we all have to go by in the state of Alabama.
He says whoever the governor appoints isn't required to have a background in education.
We're not sure what direction we would be going into, who we would answer to. We're not sure about what kind of curriculum would be put out there for us to teach.
If the people vote yes on Amendment 1, Herron says it won't be long until area students see a change.
A lot of things are going to get tucked away at the local level. There's a lot of decisions that's going to be made for us from Montgomery without even considering what we have, if that's the best thing for our system or not. If there's too much change, then it's going to affect our students.
The Alabama Democratic Party primary is March 3rd. For more information on Amendment 1, visit our website, WCBI.com. An investigation by Choctaw County deputies leads to the arrest of a Mathiston man. Thomas Casey Narmore is charged with felony drug possession and felony possession of firearms. Police say the drugs were found inside the home on Dobbs Street there in Mathiston. Investigators say that another man was at the home, also arrested, but on misdemeanor charges. Both are awaiting bond in the Choctaw County Jail. Investigators say the two could face more charges.
Well, this has been a common sight across the area for the last couple of weeks. Wet roads once again in Starkville on Highway 12 from the MDOT camera. And I could go around and show you some more cameras, but really it's the same thing everywhere. Light rain falling and wet roadways. So if you're out and about this evening, definitely want to use some extra caution on those wet roads. Definitely very easy to hydroplan with all of that water that has collected up today. Upwards of 3 inches in localized areas right there along Highway 82. A little bit less farther to the south, a little bit less farther to the north, but really that heavy rain set up right along Highway 82. And that's where we had all of those flash flood warnings earlier this afternoon. Now, Overnight tonight, we're going to continue with just some generally light rain. Temperatures falling down into the low and mid 40s in most spots. We will dry out by tomorrow morning, and I think we'll be dry for most of the day, but there is more rain on the way. I've got those details coming up in just a bit. Scott.
All right, Trevor, thanks so much. Well, watching and waiting, that's been the theme of the last few days for people in Northeast Jackson who are anxious to go home. Courtney Ann Jackson spoke with some of those neighbors today.
The water's edge here on North Canton Club Circle has become information central. And as the water goes down, it's the spot where some are coming for a renewed peace of mind.
The last time that I was here was a couple of days ago, but this is the closest that I've been, I think, since Saturday morning. And this was about as far as we could go Saturday morning because the water came up pretty fast.
Sarah Kimmel's neighbors went back to their house by boat Sunday. Water had made it into the garage, but just shy of entering the home.
Now, I don't know about mine for sure, but you know, we're all next door neighbors, so we're all very hopeful.
Mary Chapman's been relying on prayers to get her through the waiting game.
Been coming by every day.
But she's thankful for the way others have pitched in.
A couple times I came down here, a man had a truck and he rode around, let us get in his truck. And we rode around with him in his truck to check on our houses, and that's a blessing within itself.
Montez Mack hasn't been as lucky.
I'm on YouTube looking at drones. I have friends, they have their drone pictures, sending me pictures, YouTube videos, things of that nature. When people come out with the tow trucks and things of that nature, just asking them, hey, have you seen my house? What is it like? Is the water in there? Anything that's possible. We're very thirsty for answers.
He tried to walk back to his house again after we spoke and was able to finally see it for the first time since last Thursday.
Now I'm waist deep in water, and my house has about 2 feet of water inside of it. Everything is water damage, from the couches to doors to everything is just gone.
Neighbors say now they're just anxious to see how long cleanup may take once they're able to get back in. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
8 Days of Hope is sending its rapid response unit to the Jackson area. The ministry will take trailers full of tools, dehumidifiers, along with feeding trailer and a mobile laundromat. Volunteers will remove mud, sheetrock, and other damaged material from people's homes so repair work can begin. All services are provided free of charge to the homeowners. Volunteers are never excited about a natural disaster, but they look forward to sharing hope and healing with flood victims.
Our main mission is to share the love of Jesus, the hope that is only found in Him. When someone experiences a disaster, it's crippling almost, and so for people to come all around the country to show them the love of Christ in a time like this is super important. We're grateful we get to do it.
8 Days of Hope will be in the Jackson area until March the 14th. All right, we're going to send things back over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, we're so familiar with the flooding.
We are.
Like they're having right now down in Jackson.
Yeah,
we
and
feel for them.
it's like deja vu from last year, too, because we had to deal with it last year. We dealt with it this year again, and now even more flooding down for our friends in Jackson. So definitely a hard time for all of us here. The good news is, on the Emerson Animal Hospital forecast, there's a little smile for you. There's Thumaloo in the back seat of the car. I think she'll be excited because we're not going to get a whole lot of rain tomorrow, maybe some sprinkles. More rain is on the way, though. I'll tell you when, coming up right after this.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Stepping outside this evening, you're going to notice the rain that has stuck around for the last couple of weeks, but you might also notice a little bit of a chill in the air. Current temperatures right now, we're 52 here in the friendly city in Columbus, 50 in Aberdeen, but look off to the north and west. We're already down to 43 in Oxford as a cold front has cleared the area. That's going to allow much colder air to start to filter in overnight tonight and over the next few days. We're still 64 in Meridian, but as I mentioned, Memphis down into the 40s and even colder air behind that. So that's what's going to be filtering in here overnight tonight. So get ready for a little bit of a chill as you start your day. Let's take a look at this viewer photo. This comes into us from Justin over in KILMICHAEL. This is actually a shelf cloud on the leading edge of those storms. And a lot of you might have seen a similar sight today. And a lot of people get scared by these clouds. There's really not much to be scared about. Basically what's happening is the warm air is rising ahead of the line of storms. The cold air within the storm is falling to the ground in the rain, and so there's a little bit of a difference right there, and it makes that sharp shelf cloud. So this basically just signifies the beginning of the storms as they roll through. Remember, if you see any interesting weather happening, you can send those photos and videos to us on our mobile app for Apple and Android, also on social media, and to our email address, weather@wcbi.com. Here's that radar loop from the last 12 hours or so, and there's all of that heavy rain really sticking around right there along Highway 82, and that led to some areas picking up 3 to 3.5 inches of rain right there along Highway 82. Some of us farther south and up to the north didn't really see much in the way of rain at all. Now, just a few light showers overnight tonight. Temperatures a lot cooler, down in the 40s. And starting off your day on Wednesday, I think a lot of us will be dry. Temperatures going to be a lot cooler, though, down into the mid-50s as we get into the afternoon hours. Can't rule out a couple of sprinkles by the evening, but generally, I think we will be dry. More rain through the next 7 days, possibly another inch or two. We will get a break, though, Friday and Saturday, so enjoy that while you can, because, Scott, there is more rain on the way for Sunday and Monday with highs back to near 60.
Hey, but at least we have Friday and then Saturday. So we've got a couple good weekends.
And it falls on the weekend. Most people want a nice weekend, so enjoy that Friday, enjoy that Saturday, but we might have to build an ark after a while.
We might as well. We might as well. Thanks so much, Trevor. Well, one of the nation's largest and oldest youth organizations makes a drastic decision. We find out what's behind the move when we come back.
With Scott Martin.
Welcome back. Today, the Boy Scouts of America, one of the biggest youth organizations in the country, filed for bankruptcy protection. The Scouts face an onslaught of lawsuits from men who claim sexual abuse by adult leaders, some going back decades. CBS's Aral Barnett has more on the secret files that alleged victims want public.
Declaring bankruptcy allows the Boy Scouts to continue operations while raising a compensation fund that could top $1 billion to pay the victims of sexual abuse.
I just couldn't deal with it. I started drinking.
Ralph Morse is one of them. He says he was molested by a respected Scout leader when he was 11.
I mean, he's pushing on my backside and he's reaching around in the front and groping me.
In an apologetic letter, the BSA says it encourages victims to come forward and file claims. But under the structure of this bankruptcy, there's a deadline and a limit to payments. BSA says its 261 local councils are not filing for Chapter 11, which one estimate suggests make up 70% of its assets.
I think what Ralph and other abuse survivors really want now is accountability.
Michael Fowl represents Morse and approximately 300 other victims. He says the scope of abuse in the revered organization's 110-year history is immense.
We know there are thousands of perpetrators in Scouts, and that's because the Scouts kept files, and they kept these files quiet.
Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
The playoffs have arrived in high school basketball. Highlights from all over the 662 coming up next in sports.
Here's sports with Tom Ebel.
The road to the pavilion continues. Boys playoffs tipping off around North Mississippi, mixed in with some great action on the ladies side. We start in Columbus. The Lady Falcons hosting Provine in round one. Playoff action, third quarter, 2 minutes to go. Michaela Reeves putting in the work on the inside, gets the layup to go. Falcons up by almost 30. Next possession for Columbus off the feed side. Former athlete of the week, Ania Sadler putting in the work in the paint off the glass. 45-19, Lady Falcons on top. Fourth quarter, 7 minutes remaining. Shania Givens pulls up the J, can't get it to go, but Mashanti Sadler right there for the rebound and the putback. Lady Falcons survive to see another game. They defeat Provine 66-32. Running it back with the boys, Columbus, Provine. Let's do it one more time. First quarter, Gabe Williams, the spin move in the paint misses, but Ethan Connor right there to clean up the mess, gets the bucket to go. Columbus with the early lead. 3 and change remaining in the first. Feed inside to Williams, finishes with the left-hand lay-in. Falcons still on top. Clock winding down the first quarter. J.J. Williams on the wing. Splasher right at the horn in the first quarter. Falcons, they advance. They get the win over Provine 58-52. Tupelo Lady Wave in action, taking on South Panola in 6A action. Visitors up by 3 at the break, but Shemai Caruthers with the lay-in cuts into the deficit. Caruthers again balling in the second half, gets the 3 ball to go. South Panola up by 6 after 3. Fourth quarter, Caruthers with the ball. That's Caruthers again with the 3 ball. Tupelo, oh, here we go. There's the Caruthers 3. Off the window for 3. Tupelo advances with the win, 62-58. On the boys' side, Running it back again, Tupelo, South Panola, Golden Wave down 3, but Hayes Halpert. Folks, you might have to call the Tupelo Fire Department on Hayes tonight. The man was on fire from beyond the arc. Back-to-back triples for Halpert. And Tupelo playing the inside-out game perfectly. Nice dish inside to LaMarcus Miller for the bucket. Then Halpert again from the wing. Knockdown triple is good. Tupelo advances to the second round. They defeat South Panola 72-49. Caledonia first round playoff action. The Feds hosting Leak Central. First quarter, Gators bringing the pressure. No problem for Devontae Martin. Bounces it in. Feds take an early lead. Under 5 to go in the first. Cooper McCleskey. The step back, fade away, mid-range J. You love to see it. Close ball game early on, 3 to go in the first. Martin with the rock again in traffic. Puts up the shot, gets it to go. A little bit of contact there. He doesn't mind. But Caledonia falls at home to Leak Central, 53-49. Louisville Power Cats, the defending 4A Lady Champions, taking on Shannon. Start of the fourth, Louisville fast break. Jalen Ingram to Kirsten Ball. Easy 2 goes. Louisville up by 21. And Cam Rogers. Hard drive through the lane. That's Cameron doing her thing. Still a 20-point ball game. Power Cats on top. A few plays later, Ingram inbounds to Rogers. Back to Ingram. Beautiful ball movement. Louisville dominates 74-42. Running it back on the boys' side. Shannon hosting, or I should say Louisville hosting Shannon. Good ball game. First quarter, Timms with the 3 ball. Deep on the wing. But Shannon with the early lead. And off the inbounds, Kobe George to Devin Hodges. Inside for 2. Shannon, press break. Hodges to Seth Stevens, bucket plus the harm. Red Raiders with the early lead, but the Cats gets the answer. Visager Culbertson, Kemba Walker step back. My goodness, with a hand in his face. Ties the game. Louisville gets the win, 59-55. In Macon, the Tigers taking on Byhalia. First quarter, Tigers trailing. Jadakiss Williams with the steal. Fast break bounce pass. Layup is missed, but Williams right there for the tip-in and 1. That ties the ball game early. Couple plays later, Jacorian Smith. Full court pass to Raymond Tuggles for 2. This one will go to triple overtime, and Noxubee County gets the win 83-78. The undefeated West Lowndes Lady Panthers hosting Stringer for round 1. This was a prize fight. It would have lasted just 1 round. Great ball movement. Ashanti Williams post hook bucket. West Lowndes cruising, and Tadasha Hood kicks out to Takara Gibbons for 3. That's money. West Lowndes dominates 83-19. And just to finish it up, West Lowndes is basketball country. The men's side facing Stringer as well, taking care of business. Quay Sanders with the steal, outless pass to Melvin Crawford for 2. West Lowndes opens the game on a 10-0 run and adding to its lead in transition. Daryl Brooks. Watch this hezzy blow by, lay in for 2. West Lowndes takes care of business, 98-46. Much more basketball and some baseball coming up next in sports. It's on the road yet again in the SEC. The Rebels with no margin of error as the regular season rapidly comes to a close. Like several Ole Miss games, this one would go down to the wire. Rebels on the road at Missouri. Second half, after trailing by 10, Breon Tyree ties it up with a triple. Who else but Tyree to come up big for the Rebs? He'd have 29 points, a game high for Ole Miss in this one. Big later, KJ Buffin with a nice take inside gives Ole Miss their first lead of the half. But the Rebels had no answer for Xavier Pinson. Went off for 32 points. That'd be a career high. But can Breon Tyree be the hero? Ole Miss down by 3 with a chance. The crossover wide open, but it's no good. One more time at the horn. Another heartbreaker for Ole Miss men's basketball. Missouri gets the win, 71-68. Mississippi State baseball once again moving up its first pitch for Friday due to some cold weather. Friday's first pitch against 25th ranked Oregon State now moved to 1 p.m. The Bulldogs look to remain perfect in the early season. The college baseball sensation out of Oxford, Cale Baker, wins the Golden Spikes Performance of the Week. for batting .417 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs against top-ranked Louisville this weekend. Baker and the Rebels, next game coming up tomorrow against Alcorn State at 4 p.m. They were supposed to play today, so was Mississippi State, but the rain got the best of us.
Yeah,
Scott.
we're all just sick of all this rain.
Aren't we?
We're sick of it. All right, thanks, Tom. We'll have last look at your forecast when we come back.
Well, I mentioned this over on the CW at 9, but I'm going to mention it here too. It's much easier to say what the good days are at this point. So Friday and Saturday, get out there and enjoy it. Chances for rain basically every other day.
You know what I'm hoping? I know the dog park here in Columbus, it was underwater, so I haven't drove by since.
Yeah. It looked a little better today.
Okay.
So maybe a good time for it will be Friday. But bundle up, it's going to be cold.
Yeah. Couldn't think of anything. We'll see you tomorrow.